morning,
Good
good
morning.
afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Dr. Sarah Renee.
All right. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Coach Cece.
Good evening. Wherever you may be.
Dr. Sarah Renee.
All right. Good morning. Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Here we go. Hold on.
Good evening. Wherever you may be. Dr. Sarah Renee. All right. Good morning.
All right. So, listen. So, Dr. Sarah Renee, your limitless liberator, coming out of retirement. I have Coach Cece in the house, in the building. You remember Coach Cece? Go ahead, Sharia Williams. And the Oscar goes to, the award goes to, who wins? Y'all know that we were going to talk about this today.
Right.
I was calling Coach Cece all night, waking her out of her sleep. And she was, kind of concerned, like, okay, you okay? Because she knew what I've been dealing with this month. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. As I was up all night in the shade room, on IG, on, Twitter, on Facebook, going out of control because this whole thing with the Oscars 2022 was just kind of out of control. Wouldn't you agree? Y'all talk to us. So thank you so much for tuning in. You can tune in anywhere, but you decided to tune in with us. We're going to give you the tea, okay? You're going to get the tea today from a therapist's point of view, because, and here's the thing, I asked my friends on social media who grew up with me, who knew me as Nay, who knew me as Renee. And I was like, which way should I go? Should I go north with it? Should I go north side, North Philly with it? Or should I respond as a doctor of counseling? Inquiring minds want to know. So Coach Cece, where should we begin? I didn't want us to have a conversation prior because I just want it to be raw, authentic, real with the real.
I mean, let's just flow with it. Let's just tell the people, just in case they missed it. I don't see how y'all could have missed this. Like, every single social media platform is buzzing, okay, from Twitter to Instagram to Facebook, about what happened at the Oscars and Mr. Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, and, Chris Rock, and what happened at the award ceremony. And let's just cut to the chase. Will slap the sugar honey iced tea out of Chris Rock on the stage. So people thought it was staged.
Yeah.
Until he made some comments afterwards. So I was just telling Dr. Sarah that I think it's like 80-20 people in favor of that Will was wrong. And then you got those 20% of people who think that he was like hands down in the right. So we could just start from there. I mean, hey, right, wrong, and different. It is what it is. It happened, but we're just here to talk about it. So let's talk about it. And the award goes to.
And the award goes to. Back up. So here's a lot of thoughts, and I surely will not dominate this conversation. I think the way that me and Coach Cece flows, even off camera, on phone, I'll be like, I'll call her. I'll be like, okay, I swear that I'm just going to talk to her for like a few minutes. That few minutes into a couple of hours, if not 3 or more, because we just be going on. And so we want to hear from you as well. What are your thoughts about the Oscars 2022 with regards to Will and Chris Rock? And what is unfortunate is that, so we'll start here. What's unfortunate on one end, because we can start positively. We can say, that's awesome. Congrats to you, Will, for winning the Oscar, because that had nothing to do with, you were already slated to win, meaning that, the votes were already in. And so you were called to have your award, your very first Oscar. And so congratulations to you. Now, we got that out the way. What was very unfortunate is one, it's now associated with the negative aspect of it, right? That now overshadows, or associates with. So I was reading the comments, or not even the comments, I was just reading the different magazines and, in the stories today, this morning, talking about, Will Smith wins, and he slapped Chris Rock. It's like now it's associated with that. And hey, the negative aspects tend to unfortunately overshadow and eclipse the positive. What's your thoughts about that, Coach Cece? Everybody, y'all talk back to
everybody. Yeah, let's talk on this Monday morning. It is Monday. I can lose track of these days, and with all that, I'm like, I don't know what's going on in the world, but exactly. I forgot. I don't even know what he won an award for. Can anybody tell me? Because it's been tainted, overshadowed. That is nothing but the devil. Like, see, when me and Doc talk, we talk on so many spectrums. We get real ghetto with it, because we both from North Philly. We so spiritual. We talk about the Lord and Holy Spirit. We both therapists, so we talking about how the brain works. So that's why it takes so long, because we spend about 20 minutes on each segment of life, and it's about 25 segments, so it'd be 5 hours long. So
right. It's gonna be a marathon, actually. I was talking to one of my therapists, neuroscientists. Shout out to you, Dr. Shantae Govan. We were just talking prior to this, and she was like, this is going to go like right into tomorrow. This is going to be like a marathon. It will, because
right.
It's too many facets to cover, and that's why we wanted to come on, because we know from a trained eye that it was more than that. It was deeper than that. And so we have to address the different tenets, the different facets of this whole thing. And so what's so amazing about Coach Cece and myself, I'm going to toot our horns. It's the fact that, like she said, we can be hood with it. We can be classy with it. We can be professional with it. We can look at it from all types of areas. First of all, we all from Philly. Will, Coach Cece,
right.
myself. So
he was West Philadelphia born and raised. We was North Philadelphia born and raised. I mean, they only next door to each other.
Right.
All we gotta do is cross the little bridge.
Right.
Fairmount Park. Shout out to Fairmount Park. The plateau. Okay, I'm good.
Oh, Will, man, dang. It's like, so my girlfriends, I told you. So my friends from around the way, they said, no, keep your doctor and your professionalism. Do not go hood on this commentary. But come on, Will. So Sherrod, thank you for tuning in, Sherrod. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks, Sherrod.
Want to hear from you. So Sherrod said, it was staged. I asked him, how did he know? He's like, it's layers. I wish I could say what I wanted. And he went to Brooke, and I'm from North Philly, has nothing to do with it. So, okay, it has nothing to do with it. You're right. But because we are from Philly, we're going to also bring that into the conversation, because, hey, we're all from Philly. So we're going to talk about Sherrod. But you're right. It has nothing to do with the other. Wrong is wrong. And that's where I want to kind of unpack this whole thing. So Sherrod says that he feels like it was staged because it's different layers. You can go ahead and talk about it. Sherrod, you can talk about it in the comment section, and I may just bring you on. So hope your camera ready. I'm sure you are, because this is like, your thing.
Right. Even if it was staged, it's wrong.
Right. Thank you. It doesn't matter. It was still wrong. Like what is the result? Even if it was staged, it still looked like it was violence. It was still violence. I don't care that it was a slap, because then what I can't stand is the double standard. I can't stand the hypocritical double standards. I cannot stand that. So we're not going to say, all right, it was just a slap. It wasn't like he punched him. Who cares? He still put his hands on him. Chris didn't put his hands on Will. Will put his hands on Chris. Oh, but he was defending Jada. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to kind of table that one a little bit later, about the whole thing. Like, he was defending her honor. Black men need to defend, Black women. And he was just defending her. I just thought that I was sexy. Like, I don't know what. And, if my man don't do that for me, then I don't want him. We're going to address that, ladies, Black ladies.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too much. And then people were saying, oh, so Cece, you can take your pick of whichever one I'm bringing up, or your own. Then I read, oh, if Chris was white, will do that. I don't know. That's a hypothetical. Who knows? Then I read, so many different, Chris was wrong, and all this, and she has a condition, and she may be depressed. And then I read people saying, well, that really probably wasn't really directed towards Chris. It may be something deeper. And that is the one that I want to entertain and jump on. But Cece, come on, coach. You talk back to us, and
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you about this as well.
Wow. So it is many layers, as you said, and we could talk about all of them. It could be. I think that Will is going through a lot. I don't know. Like, I hadn't had an opportunity to sit at any table, no red tables, no desk or anything, to have a conversation with him from a therapeutic standpoint. So I'm not going to diagnose him, but just from the outside looking in, being, 50 something year old man, Black in America alone, there's always a lot of pressure. But some of the things that have been going around in the last few years, and even being nominated and up for an award, in the normal circumstances for a Black actor, something that he worked for all his life. I mean, it's pressure, it's stress. The things that people have been saying about him and his marriage, and him coming out, a couple of weeks ago, talking about infidelity versus not being infidelity. Like, it's just a lot of things. It could really take somebody to the boiling point. So could this have been the midlife crisis? Could this have been an opportunity for the enemy to come in, and he just kind of lost it? So, these trigger words, I don't know. I mean, it could have been a trigger word, a trauma reminder, or anything. And Chris was just the thing that was in the way at that time, right? Mm-hmm. And so, nonetheless, it's not a good way to react, because who's to say that if guns were allowed in the Oscars, that it couldn't have been a gun that could have been pulled out, and then he could have got shot, somebody else could have got shot? Who's to say that if Jada would have tried to stop him, and I didn't see, what was going on the sidelines, that she could have been the brunt of that anger or anything like that? It's just not the proper way or healthy way to react to any situation. It shows that a man lost it, and whether it was staged or not, it's still insane. You should not have to stage anything to get in an advancement in this world. He doesn't need to do that. He's very talented in his own right. So what's the point? So if you think that you have to, paint yourself in the light of trying to get more likes or more fame to do something as ludicrous as assaulting and insulting another human being, then that's insane too. So these are the things that we need to discuss, because it's not right. And if we make light of it, and if we, give a pass to it, then it gives a pass to more, heinous situations or serious crimes. And that's it. There is no pass. That's how I see it. Sure, I can be like, yeah, it was a little glimpse of me as a woman. It was like, you know what? Oh my God, he was honoring his boo. But no, I don't know how she feel, but I would be angry. I mean, let's talk about the financial ramifications. I mean, okay, he got money and they rich, but do people understand the ramifications of this, from a legal standpoint, from a financial standpoint, from a whole lot of standpoints, that he just got himself into? I'm just saying. What you think?
Wow. First of all, I love you, Coach CC. I'm so proud of you.
I love you too.
Because come through with the curls too. Doesn't she look like everybody with the curls? She came through with the curls today. I'm waiting for that North Philly to come out though. I'm waiting for that North Philly energy. You cut that so perfect. And I'm
trying to build up.
Yeah, okay. So I guess I'm gonna have to be the one with that North Philly energy. No, everything you said, hands down, what you said was, to me, I agree with you. And what do you think, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. We're just talking about, and the award goes to hashtag Oscars. Like, what do y'all think about the whole thing with Will Smith and the whole altercation with Chris Rock? And we can take it on different facets. And that's why we wanted to have a conversation, because the thing is, and I thank you, Taurus, I'm going to read your comment in a second. The thing is that whether it was staged or not, come on now, that's the way to go. To get what was the end goal for that? If it was even staged, what is the end goal? Why could it not been in a positive light to try to keep the same vein throughout the entire Oscars? There was some cringeworthy, moments in terms of like the jokes and, you know, and how things, but there was some amazing things. Like I give Beyonce all props and how she just opened up the, you know, Academy Awards. You had so many different things that were so amazing that happened,
Absolutely.
right? On the most diverse of all Oscars. This is the 94th, the most diverse ever. And here is your opportunity to shine. And you know, it wasn't just you shining for you, but it was shining for so many. And whether you can argue and disagree to say, well, you know, but yeah, that's not what his job was, and this, he's just a celebrity. Nevertheless, there are times by which this is my thing concerning Will. There are times where it's convenient, where he's shining and reigning, and he takes on that thing, like that shine. But then when it's not cool, when it's not rocking, when it's not going his way, when it doesn't work for him, he shucks the accountability and the ownership. And that is the violation that I have concerning Will.
Right.
I reading his book, you know, reading the comments, you know, listening to his videos. So you have to understand that we actually, as therapists here, as people from Philly, as, you know, just Black women, you know, we took the time to actually start to digest and break this down. So whether it was all staged, it doesn't matter. Why stage something that incited violence, that resulted in an assault, that resulted in a Black man on national TV assaulting another Black man? Too many facets. So Taurus, I want to read your comment real quick. He said, oh my God, OMG. Seriously, you really making a self-proclaimed educated post on this fake clip? Yeah, crap. Yes, I am. Yes, we are. Yes, Taurus. Philly just want some come up. Why, Taurus? It is staged. This isn't worthy the time you're giving it. It's not about it being worthy or not worthy. The fact is that people are reacting and being triggered. And we now decided to do our due diligence to now talk about it, because we are just compelled to talk about it just as much as you were compelled to come here and be here. And he said, but as I listened to you, you made some very good points. I owe you an apology. Apology accepted, Black man. That's what I'm talking about. Much love to you, Taurus. I saw your comments, Taurus, on some other posts and everything. And while again, and CC just broke it down earlier, that regardless if it's staged or not staged, still wrong. It was still wrong. It was not a good look all around. Who wins at this point? Sharad wants us to bring him up. Don't worry, I'm going to try to bring you up. Okay, no worries, no worries. I got you, boo. I got you. Hey, Anthony. Hey, Sharon. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you so much. We are just talking about all that's gone on and gone wrong with this daggone Oscars. And what's sad is that it was an amazing night. I go to bed at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was up all night doing crisis management, intervention, damage control, because I was compelled to. I wanted to. I chose to. I decided to. Now, you know it's serious when you start whispering. When you whisper, it's serious. Y'all know, if y'all have been following anything, any commentary, you can go to any video that I've done. And I talk about the whole word called decision. Decision. You know, it's like, I'm not going to go here or sit here and camouflage and justify and condone, because everybody keeps sliding that. I've been reading a lot of comments throughout the day, throughout the night. You know, well, I mean, yeah, he shouldn't have done that, but still, you know, Chris, you know, deserved it. He was calling for it. And then I see people saying that, well, Chris is a comedian, you know, who's off limits? But she has, you know, that condition, you know, she's been depressed about it. Respectfully, she's been talking about it, though, on Red Table Talk. She's been dealing with it, and she has a lot of therapists. You know, she has shown a couple of her therapists, not excusing anything. This doesn't excuse anything. The whole thing, though, what we're not going to do on this platform is condone violence and to sugarcoat it and overshadow it, or, you know, try to go over it as if it didn't happen, as if it was justified and warranted. Because let it be any other Joe Smo, come on here, they would have immediately put him in cuffs, charged him, and called it a day. So no, you know, this is beyond all of that. And like I said, on a table in terms of, I can't wait to talk about the whole thing in terms of, was this really about Jada and her honor? Let's talk about that right now. So please, everybody, I want y'all to go ahead and share your thoughts, your opinions, your comments. Please, we're going to bring you in. We want to hear from you, because, hey, we're not going to sit here Oh my gosh, I do have a meeting. I have a meeting in 10 minutes. I'm going to see if I can move that meeting. We're not going to.
Right, I had one too, and I was just like, hold
Right,
up.
right. I was in the clear. But so we may have to do this marathon. We may have to come back, but we're not going to sit here and we're not going to be the ones that say, okay, well, like Taurus said, like you said, Taurus, we're not going to be the ones. We weren't there. We're not his therapist. So we can't necessarily say anything. However, I'm not going to act like I don't have nearly 30 years of experience. How many years of experience do you have, Coach CC?
10.
Then
Too many.
so we're not going to, act like with a combined, experience of for 40 years. I know we don't look it. Because Blacks certainly do not crack. But we're not going to act like we don't know based on themes, based on patterns, based on behaviors, based on certain things that we've seen, that we have worked with, and we can see how it's playing out here. So whether it's hypothetical, alleged, we can use all those words, because again, we didn't talk to him directly, but based on our experience, we certainly have the ability to say, you know what, calling out those unhealthy patterns, calling out the toxicity is called out. We have to call it out because unfortunately we have too many people who are okay with the violence, but then out the same mouth saying that they're not cool with violence. So which one is it going to be? Nah, look, y'all better talk back to us. What do you think, Coach CC?
I just want to say something about taking it to the streets. Since I had to be real. I had to.
Come on, be real.
You know how the Bible say something about turn the other cheek.
Something like that. Something like that.
I don't know, like for real, yo, if somebody would have smacked me like that, I don't care if it would have been in private, at Walmart, on the stage at the Oscars, we'd have been scrapping. Right. Like, that's not what you're going to do. So the award really goes to Chris.
Yeah, right?
The comeback, it was so like awkward. Like, that's how I knew it was real. Because the way he responded, you know what I mean? That wasn't staged. He was like taken aback, like I can't believe it. Just slap it. You know what I mean?
it was like, it was like the synapses were disconnected. It's like his words were coming out. He's like, well, this is about an Oscar. I mean, this is about a documentary. Like after he got that set, it was like, it's like it kind of like set him aback. Like, wow, this really just happened. Yes. And yeah, he kept his composure. And that's where I can see where people can say it was fake because come on here.
We'd have been sliding all across the stage. We'd have shut the Oscars down. It just wouldn't have been right. It wouldn't have been the good look.
No, it wouldn't have went down like that. Like if it was like, I don't know what to say. Like that, yeah, like for real. Yeah, the Oscar goes to daggone Chris because
I think
there's no way.
I think Chris did do some self-work in his day. I think he's probably seen many therapists. You could tell, So in one respect, I say that I would have been scrapping and all of that, but because I have done my work, I might have responded like Chris, because you have those moments like when you do this work all your life where you be like, I can't believe that just happened. You do think like things happen and you want to react, like somebody say something to you, somebody do something to you, and then you pause and you think for a minute and you in disbelief. But then you respond and you make a decision to do something else. That's what maturity, that's what growth is. And he exemplified tremendous growth. Yeah. Whereas the opposite seemed to be on Will's side. That's all I gotta say. But that's crazy to me. I would like to see how this all pans out. I've heard so many things. I've heard people say, many men saying, I would have did the exact same thing. You're not going to talk about my wife. So let's talk about why they're saying he should have defended her and the reason, which was not a funny joke, right? So comedians cross lines all the time. Like they do it. many people are talking about this hypersensitive generation, and it really gives these comedians a really hard time because they can't talk about nobody and nothing now. Right? Remember 20, 30 years ago, you talk about everybody and their mom. Now it's just like I don't know what pronouns. I don't know. Right? And so, okay, he's a comedian. He could have taken it too far, whatever. But they were basically saying that she's suffering from a health issue, alopecia, and hair loss. And so the whole G.I. Jane joke was insensitive and hurtful. And so she, from the looks or her reactions, looked disgusted. And the juxtaposition or the way they were sitting, I didn't even see how he saw her reaction. Maybe he felt her energy, 20, 30 years being together. Probably just feel the energy. I don't know. He appeared to be laughing, which is even more kind of interesting. Was it a true laugh or was it one of them angry laughs? Because if it was one of them breaking laughs, kind of breaking point laughs, which would make it understandable how he reacted. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so then he did whatever he did. So given that it was an insult to her, she was hurt, it was about a medical condition, do you think it's a little bit more justifiable how he reacted?
No. And sorry, Black women. Hey, Zakia 253, thank you for tuning in. Hey, Myra, my birthday twin, thank you for tuning in. And what we're going to have to do, which really sucks, is that I have a meeting that I have to go to. So we're going to have to pick this up. So Sharad, I'm sorry. Go ahead and open up. You can do it on your Facebook. Coach CC may be available. She can probably join in. So you can give two sides, from a male's point of view and women's point of view. And Taurus, you should be able to jump in as well. But we're coming back. I'm going to make sure I finish up my daggone meeting and we're going to come right back. But no, it doesn't justify it. Here's the thing. We don't ever know what we're going to do until we're in a situation. There's wills out right there. However, we're still taught it just as human beings, what is right and what is wrong. And there's other ways that he could have got Chris, you know what I'm saying? Like you putting your hands on him, wasn't one of them. You didn't have to do that. You could have, there's other ways that you could have defended your wife. My only issue with all of that is, dang, was this about Jada in the first place? So, because when you look or when you read Will's book, when you look at his videos and he talks about how he has these challenges when it comes to being in fear, and there's some insecurities there, inadequacies that he has to deal with or had dealt with. And even the whole thing, come on now, as far as with, August, Alsina, and the whole thing with him being with his wife and things like that. And I would be rocking with it if all things were equal, meaning if all of that had nothing to do with, or that it didn't even exist, to the point that, yes, you react and now you're responding, you're defending your wife because of her. But it seemed like he was, my cousin, Rhonda, I want to give you a shout out. I saw her post and she said, you know what? I heard before that, people were saying that, a thing is not really the thing. And that is perfectly true. It was more to that than it being about Jada, because here's my issue. I already said it. My one issue with Will is that a lot of times he doesn't take accountability or ownership. And I can't stand that. Not just with Will. I don't like that at all with people, period. Be accountable for your, then you're going to turn around and, yeah, Denzel told me that, when you're at your greatest moment, the devil, now it's the devil. Let me tell you, I don't talk to the devil at all, but I'm telling you now, the devil's like, you know what? My name is Bennett. I'm not in it. Like, don't blame me for this one this time. Like, that wasn't me. The devil was like, that wasn't me this time. Stop hiding behind every single excuse. Stop it, Will. Stop it, people. Stop doing that. Take ownership. You did that because you did it for whatever reason. But don't let it be because of, me personally, I wouldn't want my man to do that. To defend my honor. You better hit him in his pockets. You better think higher than that.
I know that's
right. What I'm saying? You better think higher than that. Don't do that. There's other ways. You are in a space and a place right now. You've been in the industry for a minute. There are other ways you could have got Chris than that way. And at the end of the day, we're all trying to, overshadow or overlook that he did laugh. We don't know what type of laughing that was, but let me tell you, it didn't matter if Will laughed and then he sees Jada she's upset, and now you're going to respond. No, if you're going to defend her honor, when he started joking on your wife, then you should automatically react. You don't need to see her being upset. Like, yo, that's my wife. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Right.
You don't need her to be the reason behind you reacting. If you're going to defend her, you're going to automatically defend her. But my issue is, and I got to go to this daggone meeting. The issue is, and we're going to pick this up, we're going to put a pin on it. We're going to come back. So y'all come back. But the issue that I have with that is, and I'm driving this home, is that, Will, respectfully, you haven't been defending Jada. When people were coming for her, and about August, you weren't defending her then. Will, you weren't defending her. You were putting her under the bus. But she's always been into this thing with the open marriage thing, and and I really wasn't rocking with it. Here's the thing: as my daggone people are calling me for this meeting, the thing was, dang man, it's like you've been with her for over almost 30 years. You stayed. You've been dealing with it. You've been, you've been rocking with it, and you haven't been protecting her and defending her. So it was the inconsistency for me. It was the incongruency in terms of, your behavior and your reaction. And at the end of the day, when you did your speech and you talk about, being a light and a vessel of love, let me tell y'all right now, that was not love. That isn't love. If we go back to the Bible, because, Coach CC, with her ministerial aspect, if we were to go to the Bible, that is not love. Love does not act like that.
At all.
Not at all. Ego does. Bruised ego. Toxicity.
Love is not puffed up. He was puffed up. It wasn't patient. It wasn't kind. It was not love.
Exactly. If y'all want to know what love is, y'all go to the Bible for that one. That was not love.
That part.
So, yeah, he needs to hold himself accountable. No one won that night. No one. Here was the opportunity, and how now it's forever overshadowed. Yeah, we're going to get over it. We're going to get past it. They're going to do their damage control. They're going to, put their PR on it. They're going to put Olivia Pope on it. They're going to do it. We already know. But I wish I could go on, because the only other issue that I have with that is, wow, Will may go unscathed, but let us not go back to Janet Jackson when she showed a nipple and a star. We didn't hear from her ever since until now. Now 2023, we haven't heard from her since. She was canceled real quick, and we're in a sense.
We're gonna table that too. We gotta bring that. Let me think. I got my pen. Let me write the Janet Jackson.
Yes. Now, nothing. Now, we haven't heard from her since, and now she's just coming out the woodwork now, because now the smoke is kind of clear, because a lot of people that
20 years later
had demeaned her and everything and demonized her. Now we found out that, hey, me too. They were doing some stuff, and now they're going to jail. It's been alleged. So now her detractors, they're not around to say something. So now she's able to come up for air now, finally, after all of these years. But let's see how this play out with Will. Let's see how this play out. I don't like the double standard. I don't like the hypocrisy. I don't like the toxicity. We're not going to put that on love. No, clean this up. Own your ish, Will. Now I'm starting to secondhand cuss. So it's time for me to go. I didn't want to have the last word.
I was about the first hand cuss, so we got to go.
I'm going to call you back in half an hour. Let me go ahead and take care of this meeting. Everybody, I hope that, thank you for tuning in. Sherrod, come back in a half an hour. I'm going to knock this out. We're going to come back. We're doing a marathon. Going to have some folks on here. We just really need to address this. Who does this awards go to? And just kind of food for thought, whether it was staged or not. This ain't it. This ain't it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll be back.
See you soon.
Bye.